Shavua Tova B'Dvach, I'm back with a slightly improved voice. The story is told that Gorbachev was asked in the early 80s, how many Jews are in Russia? And he said, there's 2 million, but if we let them leave, there'll be 4 million. So in the 80s, in Eretz Yisrael, there were many, many Russians who were coming there, and the rabbinate all over was busy trying to confirm who was Jewish and who maybe needed to convert or how to deal with it. So Rabbi Lau, the former chief rabbi at the time, was the chief rabbi of Tel Aviv. And a 40-some-year-old Russian guy came into the rabbi, had an appointment with 2 older men to come and to testify to his status as a Jew. So Rabbi Lau asked the first person, what do you know about this person? How can you prove that he's Jewish? And he said, very simple. When he was 8 days old, I was at his bris. Imagine in the 40s, during the height of the communist regime, to give a child a bris, not only did you have to have a very brave mohel, you had to have very parents who it was important to them. He says, I was at his bris, that means something. He says, very good. And he turns to the second witness, says, what is your knowledge of this boy? He says, I don't know the boy, I wasn't at his bris, but I know his mother. His mother was a doctor in a big hospital in Moscow, and I was very involved in the secret baking of matzahs in Moscow. And his mother was a heavy smoker. She smoked 2 packs a day. Once upon a time, that was normal. And every night, she would take out one of the cigarettes from her 2 packs that she smoked, and she would put it away in a special box. Every single night before she went to bed, she would put a cigarette away in a box. And then after Purim, as we were approaching the weeks before Pesach, she would come to me with this box full of hundreds of cigarettes, which were very, very precious on the black market. And I was able to use that to buy matzahs for her so she could have for her family. So someone who 40 years ago was thinking about matzahs for Pesach, that tells you between the bris and the matzahs that this is a Jewish boy. Rabbi Lau was very impressed by this second witness, and he asked if he could get a hold of the mother, who was still living in Russia. And Rabbi Lau calls her up, makes contact with her, and she tells him with great simplicity that, yeah, she needed the matzahs. They were hard to come by, and this was a simple, obvious solution. And the rabbi said to her something very powerful. He said, most Jews celebrate Pesach and live Pesach maximum, if you live outside of Israel, 8 days a year. In Israel, 7 days a year. And he says, but you lived Pesach every single day of the year. And he was just blown away by that. Interestingly enough, I don't usually add too much to my stories, but Pesach, unlike every other holiday where we remember history, on Pesach we're told we have to live like kings. That's why we lean when we drink the wine, when we eat the matzah. We have to free ourselves every year on Pesach. We don't have to remember it, we have to relive it. We have to know it's an opportunity to go out of limitations, a time to be what we're meant to be. And as someone who lives that way every day of their life, they're really taking the message of Pesach to heart. May we all have a liberating and freedom-going Pesach this year, kosher and happy.